What's up, guys? What's happening? What are you guys up to today? How's things? I'm on a low middle income, blah blah blah, 66K. Interesting number. But you don't have a lot of money for courses, I can understand. Have you watched all of my content? Do you know what it is that you want? That's the thing that really matters. Like what are your goals? It's hard to say that you should do this or you should do that because I don't know what your goals are. Your goals are self-development. Are they to make money? Are they to do many things? I believe everything should be done internal first. I think that you should do the internal reflection at first. I think that's actually true. You should build yourself first, specifically if your time doesn't matter. Like if you're, I work for $20 an hour or less. I mean, does it really matter if you take like an extra hour or two a day to do the internal reflection and actually start to design your reality? Because your money doesn't really matter. I make, I don't know how much an hour. If I wanted to do more work, I could maybe earn $500,000 an hour, but I don't want to. So again, that's the idea. Yeah, I think I believe that he should just watch some of my old content as well. It depends, but also it depends what it is that you want. It really does depend what it is that you would want. That's the biggest thing. It's hard to say and be like, oh, just do this or just do that because it depends what you want. But then I like if you guys are honest with yourselves, and I think that some of you are starting to change, but some of you don't even know what you want. Like actually, a lot of you don't even know what you want. Like you want things, but then you realize you want things, but that's how you've been trained to think. I need external validation. I don't matter unless I have a nice car. I don't matter unless I have a nice watch. I don't matter unless I have nice clothes. I don't matter unless, other people think that I'm important. I'm this high value man that everyone's lost in. Do you know I used to talk to Kevin Samuels quite a bit about that? We used to talk like this in one on ones before he died quite a lot. I think I probably talked to him for, I don't know, maybe like 20 hours or something like this, just me and him. And I believe the high value man stuff, I never believed it. And I used to talk to him about it, and he was a big proponent of it. But he also wasn't a proponent of the red pill. He thought that stuff was garbage. But he was idealistic. I believe that he was actually taken out. I think that he was a very good speaker for black people. He was very different to the usual. That you can be a fucking pillhead and you can be a rapper and you should be a fuck boy and you should be irresponsible and you should do all of these things. But he was idealistic in that he thought that he could transcend across that. You can't. You can only go so far. And he was trying to see the idea of the cotton field isn't that black people are still, picking cotton, all of these things, but they still have the master, like wherever they are to go. Black people, and I remember that I say black people as an I only say it because I say it with caring. Others won't tell you this, is that black people are only allowed to go so far in this world, and you best fucking know that. That's the way that it's set up. Like you'll never own anything that matters. Like you can't. That's the way that it's set up. It's very structured. That's why racism certainly exists. Like you better be aware of that. You can't leave the cotton field, but understand that unfortunately for a lot of us, like they can't. Like we really kind of can't either. So now it's like it's kind of squashed down. Like you're not the only one who can't leave the cotton field. Like a lot of us now kind of can't either. Like we're not on the cotton field as much as they are. We might not be in the ghettos or the hoods, although I have lived in ghettos and I have lived in prison with black people before. But they're also we're all having similar restrictions now. They might have more because some people see the skin color and also will think lower of them. But we have similar things now. Like we all have the same restrictions. We all have the master, as it were, a lot closer to us than we used to have. That's it. Like that's true. But understand, like this idea of black people being used for entertainment, that's true. But in the future, a lot of us will be used in that way. Like people can watch series like The Running Man or watch a movie like that. And I watched that. I actually think that's a good movie. And you think that's not possible? Like Hunger Games isn't possible into the future. Like we're all going to be toys. And if not, you are to be a toy. I won't be because I'm, I am who I am. But a lot of us will be. We don't have a lot of utility in the future. Like, what's our value in 20 or 30 years' time? Like, what utility will we be able to actually provide in an actual physical realm? So that's the real, that's the spectrum of it. I think they're talking about what's the thing in Sarajevo. Was it Sarajevo? And they said that they've tracked elites were going over there and shooting civilians on like, high class, like jungle expeditions. They're trying to find out who it was. People paying $100,000 to shoot civilians. And then you're like, that happens to white people. And you can't imagine that doesn't happen in places like Africa at massive scale. That would happen at scales that you couldn't even imagine. Like that would be happening in real time. A lot. I've not been to elite parties, and then I've not been to parties that are at the top of the elites, but I've been to parties that I've run that were the top of the influencer piles and things like that. And you would be very amazed what people do in those places. Because I mean, I've seen it. I've run those parties. And I can only imagine what happens for the elites because they don't have any rules. But also this idea of like guys think that women go to those parties and they actually get exploited, but a lot of the women are exactly where they want to be. And that's the idea of Machiavellianism. A lot of you don't understand how women's brain works. Women, like men, really think they see like women on Epstein things, and they think that most of them didn't want to be there, and most of them wanted to be there. Like you better fucking know that. I don't know. I'm not talking about when they talk about children, but I'm talking about adult women. That's fun for women. Like women feel first. If they move down a path of degeneracy, I've said it before, women's degeneracy knows no limit. Like there is no limit to the abyss that the women will fall all the way down Dante's Inferno. It's true. That's it. They don't just do it. They do it because it feels good. Like women are attracted to feeling. Like feels good, feels exciting, feels toxic, feels like they shouldn't be there. The people don't talk about them. Like, there's not going to leak. Like if they suck Bill Clinton's dick and then get fucked by another guy at the same time and all that, it's not going to leak anywhere. They know the people are famous. Women do a lot of shit for famous people that you couldn't even imagine. And they're happy to do it and they're happy to be there. And then later on, they'll settle down with a guy and not tell him. It happens a lot. It's not that she did like a lot of this, like, do you know Epstein could put a fucking ad up, and do you know how many women would go to his island tomorrow if they could? A lot. They just won't tell you. A fucking lot of them. Maybe like 10 or 20% globally would choose to go there. They just won't tell you. They'll be like, oh no, I wouldn't want to be involved in that to you. But a lot of them do that. Like, do you know how many women are sugar babies and escorts and shit behind the scenes? They just don't tell you that. There's a lot of them. Women's degeneracy knows no bounds. If they, again, women is like the rubber band. And if you stretch it to a certain point through essentially dopamine and hedonism, it never closes again. It's always stretched, to be stretched and to be brought back. It's another. If you push a woman down a path of hedonism and a path of degeneracy, there's no limit. Like you will balk before she does. You will get to a point where you're like, holy shit, I'm at my limit and she's not. Like these ideas of even like you would be very, very, let me just tell you, you would be very, very surprised. Even shit that I've had with women, you wouldn't even understand or believe it, most of you. You've talked about imagination coming from the ether, by the way. Do you think that everything we imagine exists in another plane, or are we able to extract the vision from that plane? It's an interesting idea or an interesting concept. You would have to kind of, I don't know to talk about that fucking ethereal shit at the moment, if I can really be fucked. But yeah, I mean, those are real deep talks. They take a lot of energy out of me. But yeah, I think, I believe that nothing exists until you imagine it. Nothing exists until you observe it. And everything exists in a superposition. And whether it smashes together as soon as you think about it, then that's one thing. But whether it smashes together as you witness it is another. That's what I believe. But also, well, yeah, I mean, shit, crazy stuff with women is, I don't know. Like, I mean, it's easy for me to have, 2 or 3 girlfriends at once. They're all in the same room and everyone knows about each other and that there's no problems. But, and that's me. I'm still quite normal. I can only imagine about guys who are billionaires. But women is, again, like, you can guide them down a funnel of degeneracy that it destroys them in a way that, but it doesn't destroy them the way that it does of men because they don't have any honor. Like honor is a masculine trait. Women can, be on their knees, sucking dick, being pissed on, and you would be surprised that she can get up, dust herself off, and just carry on the day. It doesn't carry over. It's different. It's not the same as with men. Like men would never be able to be like, holy shit, what have I done? I can't get over this. Women is dusted off and forgotten immediately. They can rebrand and repivot immediately. It doesn't matter. They don't have it. It's not within who they are. But I believe that it's probably within historically is that you could be with a man, he could be wiped out in a war, and you have to move on. Like you have women are they're designed that way. You have to dust yourself off and move on. Women can go to a bukkake party, be bukkakeed for cash, and then dust themselves off and figure it out the next day. It doesn't really linger like it would with a guy. I can only imagine if you were to do that, you wouldn't recover like mentally. You would that would hang with you for a long time. And women lack the depth of awareness to be like, they can still then do that in private, come on a trip and then, be drilled by two dudes for money and then come back the next day and be, critical of you, what it is that you're up to. It doesn't carry over. Like they don't have any of that. Like honor that's a masculine trait. So then you'll be like, you just often like you don't know. Like guys with chicks that are going like Maldives, all of these fancy travel trips and all of that, and you don't know what happens on those trips. Like really, I do because I've seen the women that go on them. I've seen a lot of that stuff firsthand. I think that people would be extremely surprised. Like I can't really talk about all of the stuff that's happened with women because people would look in and be like, "Holy shit!" But I've seen a lot of degeneracy. Like, I mean, that's the thing. I can push women down a funnel too, but I've balked well and truly before any woman that I've ever done that has balked to a point where I'm like, this is my limit. Because I have limits. Understand with men, if every limit that you cross, you can't come back from. You can't. Like every limit that you cross, you can't recover from. Like you will lose a part of yourself as a guy. The degeneracy parts is not the same. Like women can come back. You can't. That's it. Like honor, and again, you will have a hard time looking yourself in the mirror, certainly to do the same things that they themselves can do. And again, don't understand that I'm talking about all women, but I am talking about all women because if you pushed all women down the same path, the outcome would be the same. It's true. Like some again look in and they're like, I don't want to do that, and that's fine. But if they were to do it, the outcome would be the same. They're just people. Yeah, I believe that their connection to God is found via their man or the strongest man in their life, the one that they're most connected to. And if he himself is actually connecting her to Lucifer, then she has no limit. Like there's no limit. Like this idea of guys look in and see like that Ghislaine Maxwell or whatever, Ghislaine, whatever the fucking name is, and they think she didn't want to be there. Women love that. Do you know how many women I know that like the idea of like, manipulating other girls and bringing them around to get fucked? I would know an unlimited amount of girls that would want to do that. They love that idea. They love that idea of like, that like little games because it's very toxic and it's very exciting. Women feel first. That's it. Feel first. I don't think about what it is that I'm in, so I can get in a real big mess. And understand though, with women, they can get you in a giant mess that you yourself are actually in a mess legally because they'll go further than you could ever imagine because they don't think about that sort of shit. They don't have the responsibility though because they know if something goes wrong, you're fucked. It's going to be on you. If they bring a chick around and she fucks you and then later on she turns around and she's like, I didn't want that. It's not the woman who's going to get in trouble. It's you. So they know that sort of shit they'll get out of the trouble and you'll wear it. So that's just the way it goes. It's the truth of it. But there are a lot of girls and things that I mean you would be very surprised to see that those sort of pathways go because it's exciting. If you know how to appeal to a woman's excitement, then the sky's the limit. Like again, these ideas of these red pill dweebs, why they're with old women and they don't experience any of that, is because they're too serious. You take serious what God made for fun. It's the truth of the matter. Adam was, he was sitting there and they made Eve. You take shit too serious. Like that's it. That's why you don't get it. Do you know how many girls that I would have? So I would have a party. I'm not going to mention all the parties or particulars. And the women would be prudes and bored and all of that because the guys were there and they were watching them. And the chicks observed and she feels under pressure and she feels judged. Or guys would jump out and be like, jump on the phone if a girl like she gets her top off and gets in the jacuzzi or gets in the pool with no bra on or something. Some guy sitting there being like, I'm going to message this like fucking dudes and everyone that I know and tell them that this guy's a hoe, this girl's a hoe and then the girls are like, I can't wait for everyone to leave. And then I would have like 3 girls sucking my cock. I've lost count. Like I've lost count on the amount of times. Because most people aren't cool with shit. Like nothing happens because they're running around telling everyone. I this touches girls' boobies and that women don't like that. You have to be cool. Africa will be depopulated. I don't know. I believe that Africans, like Africa and Africans have utility. Like that's why they're carrying them along. Like Africa, by definition, should have died a long time ago. Like, let's be frank, it's a non-performer. I'm not saying that the people are bad and all of that, but they're a non-performer. Like they only exist mostly on handouts. I'm not being cruel. I'm just speaking the nature of life. Like you only exist because others have chosen that it's okay for you to exist. Like they could be conquered and destroyed within like what, like a month if they wanted to. So they only exist because they have utility. How can I forgive myself from gambling away many, many of my life savings? I don't know what I don't know, but I've never had anyone with healthy behavior with money investing. Gambling is toxic also, but the hardest thing for you is you need to look in the mirror and say that that money is gone. It's finished. All those times and all that hours and all of that fucking study that you think you have an edge at blackjack and I have an edge at the fucking roulette and I'm doing the fucking martingale strat. You don't have a fucking edge. Edges and casinos exist because of people like you. That's why the casino exists. You need to look in the mirror and be like, every dollar and every hour that I've ever spent at the casino was a complete waste of time, and I'm never getting it back. And every minute and every hour that I spend from then on, I'm stealing from the future self. Every dollar that you waste at the casino, and more importantly, every hour and every bit of energy that you waste there, you steal from your future kids. You steal from yourself. You steal from future you. You're mailing yourself checks of liabilities that you will have to pay into the future every fucking minute that you gamble. It's the truth of it. Like that's it. And also influencers like starting to market casinos and things like that. Understand that you're dealing with predatory influences and predatory behavior and all of that stuff. It's profitable. Like it's profitable to market a casino. I mean, I'm to launch Soul Stake, and a part of that will likely be iGaming, and that will be a platform that I'm launching. It'll be a creator platform. So ultimately, a creator can do anything on there that they want, as long as it's not illegal. So if you're a creator, you can stand there and create fucking content like this. You can create content that's PG, but then also if they want to create content that goes behind a KYC wall, so for KYC people, the chicks can do content as long as they're not fucking. People can choose to iGame with the people that they're with. It's a creator platform, so ultimately it's not decentralized, and that it can also be censored. If someone's standing there blowing their head off kittens, then it'll be censored. But within reason, it won't be censored. So they can talk about crypto, they can talk about conspiracy, they can talk about whatever they want. But if they want to iGame with the people, they also can. But it's not an actual casino. But don't be fooled to think that I'm your fucking hero either. I mean, I like money as well, and that is what it is. I won't be standing there promoting it, but it is a casino. Will ultimately have iGaming. It's a part of the platform that I'll run. So that's life, right? Like that's the nature of life. But also, I don't stand here and act like I'm your hero, because I'm not. Like I hope you look at me and realize if I'm your hero, you need to look in the mirror and realize you need to become your own hero, because otherwise you'll fuck yourself over. Like that's it. What's the name again? It's soulstake.tv. That's the spot. So essentially, it's not Soulstake. So it's Soulstake TV. It'll run on Solana. It's just a creator platform. So creators can essentially get on there. It'll have use. I'm not going to say the exact decentralized video provider that we're going to use, but essentially you'll be able to jump on. So imagine Stake and Kick. It's not just the casino focus, but essentially to be brought into one hybrid. So it can be used for promotion, that you'll be able to have PG content, and then behind a gated wall, you'll be able to have R-rated content as well, or M content. Whatever the fuck people want to post, they can within reason. But that's just the nature of it. Like also, but understand, I'm not your hero. Like I never stood here and said that I'm meant to be God's chosen one, because I'm not. Why most men turning into simps? Most men are turning into simps also because they don't really have a good strategy when it comes to women. Most people have convinced that the only way to get attention from women is to pay them. It's unfortunate, but it just is what it is. Guys don't have a very high value of themselves. It's true. They don't have, they don't have very high value of themselves. A lot of guys don't realize the value proposition for women. If you're not fun and you're not, you don't get her, you don't have a depth of a connection, which depth of connection, it can only be found also by being fun. Because she's also able to be fun and vulnerable and open and chill and relaxed, and she doesn't feel judged. Guys are too judgmental. I'm not saying judgmental of a girl who has 1,000 bodies, but some guys are judgmental to the point where a girl can't even tell them the truth. Like guys get chronically insecure, and that's a problem. Like you can't get like that with women. You have to become a safe space with them. And you have to be you have to have a depth of a connection. Connection is the hardest thing. Like that's the thing that if you're honest with yourself and me, even me, you long for the most. I long for a depth of connection. I don't long for 100 girls. I mean, it's not found. That's not found with any sort of depth. Depth of connection, where you can open up. You have a safe spot where you can talk to a girl, and you're not worried about her running around and telling everyone or leaking or laughing at you, or essentially she learns something about you and then she stabs you in that exact point. So a level of trust is important. What hardware wallet do you recommend for crypto? I like just ledgers. You don't need the best one. You can just get like a ledger. Is it X? I think X is the best one. You can get an S. Is it time for more deep shadow work? Find out why I feel that I need more. Maybe it's a sense of insecurity and an inner void. Needing more is not necessarily a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to want more. I mean, I think that we all should. You should always want more. If you're in the gym and you're happy with how you look, you should also always increase that, because we're all on a decay, like on a long enough time frame. I mean, it's like stacking checks in the bank. Getting as fit as possible is stacking checks in the bank, because eventually there'll be a point where you won't be able to train as hard. You'll have a longer, you've essentially flown all of this height. So when you're to come down from that height, you'll have a higher high. Like it'll take more time. I heard all these Black Kings passport bros are losing heart in Poland. That's an interesting concept. Poland is. I think that I'm not saying only me, but I believe that I put Warsaw on the map. I think that you can't really walk around Warsaw and not say my name and that people don't really know it. I mean, most people know I am there. But it's not just the Black people in Poland, but most of the people that have gone there are, in fact, just simping for chicks, and that's a problem. They've nuked the economy of Warsaw. Like, again, you had chicks that after the war in Ukraine and things like that, it was full of hot girls and there was less guys and less foreigners. And foreigners ruin everything. Like, guys come in and they jump on the Tinder apps and they jump in and they're gassing up fives and sixes and telling them that they're fucking amazing, because they're used to being with fatties back in the States. Like, they're used to being around whales. So even when they get with but understand, like, if you're a foreigner there, you're only with the town bicycle. Like, do you know how many girls or guys that I know who message me and they're like, are you like talking to this chick? And it's a girl literally that I probably know like 30 dudes have fucked her. I see like guys flying out girls that I used to just invite over to nut on, and that's it, send home. And they're flying them out to like fucking, I don't know, Monaco and place, like generally spending fuck tons of money on girls. Like fucking flying them to like the French Riviera. Fucking money nerds. Like, they take them too serious. That's a problem. But girls are very good at that, in that they're good at that they're very good at the rebrand. You need to understand that if you're with a chick and she's been kind of around a major city, who she is with you is going to be quite different to who she is with guys who kind of get the game. Like, that's it. You have to be fun though. Fun trumps everything. Like, if you're not fun, you're never going to get all of these sort of experiences with women. You're never going to have two girlfriends if that's what you want. If you're not fun, it's just impossible. Like, you can't do it. Because fun makes people kind of like, they will, if you're fun, they'll extend their boundaries for you. It doesn't exist. Because understand this logical framework that you provide for her, then she provides a logical framework for you, and you can't exist outside of that. Like, a lot of guys, they're like, if they walked up to their girl and they're like, I want you to get a tattoo of my name, she would turn around and be like, no. Or she would be like, but where is my tattoo? That's a mistake for you. I want to fuck another girl. Well, then I'm going to fuck another guy. That's a problem. Like, those sort of ideas are fucking big problems for you. If you have a girl and she's like, you're like, I don't want you to do this. And then she's like, all right, well, you can't do that. That's a problem for you. Because again, every concession that it is that you make, you're disaligned, like you're not in a period of alignment. But also, if you don't want that, then that's fine. If you're with a chick and you're like, I'm with this girl and I want to marry her, or I want to have kids with her, then you shouldn't be doing any of these fuckboy games and being like, I want to have two girlfriends, I want to have this and that, because they all run opposites. That's the thing that the red pill twerps get wrong. Like, they run around and chest beat that they want a trad girl and I want this and I want that, and they don't like themselves because they get the opposite and settle for it because they can't get what they want. Women don't like you fucking jumping on and yelling at women. Doesn't matter if they're the salt of the earth from church. If you stand there and yell at another girl and judge her, the salt of the earth from church won't like you. Because women have a hive mind. They don't like that. They don't like judgment. And also, though, to be fair, judgment is not for you, it's for the creator. Judgment can be judged within yourself. You can look at yourself and be like, I'm not happy with that. And that's a big part of the process of an ego death. It has to be based around judgment partially. But also this judgment of women and you've done this and you're condemned and my chick sucked a cock before she met me, therefore she's unsuitable. And that's all rigid. Like none of that shit's dumb. Most of it. Do you know how many girls I know who have 5 bodies who are fine to date? I know, and then I know girls who have, like, 1 body and they're just a mess, like, why you would wanna date them. A lot of girls too, when they don't have a lot of bodies as well, some of them are just undesirable, and you're taking a chick that no one really wanted, and you're running around with it. That's problematic. And again, a lot of dudes are insecure and they don't realize retrocausality exists with women, and that if she has a few bodies and you fuck her and you're the best, not you fuck her because you have the biggest cock, that shit doesn't matter as much as you would believe. I mean, I have a giant fucking dick, and to tell you straight, it doesn't matter as much as you would believe. It matters mostly, it's the mental games with women. Psychology is the biggest. Psychology matters with women the most. Like the shit that they come over is not the guy who has the biggest dick, it's the one who had the most exciting story. Like the whole situation was exciting from the get-go. The shit that they watch, the porn that they watch, the fucking stories that they listen to, you'll realize that the drama, it's a story, they're based on a story. Dudes, it's like as long as she's got fucking big tits and a fat ass, you're just like, oh well, that's fine. It's the story, doesn't matter. Like a chick can work at McDonald's or a chick can work as a fucking, JP Morgan. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care. If she's hot, she's hot. It doesn't matter. Whereas women, the story matters. It matters a lot. Sex with women starts from the first DM. Like that's the beginning. The whole everything matters. Like everything that you do with women matters. Like what archetype are you? What showing are you presenting online? That matters a lot. Your image matters a fuck ton. Doesn't matter as much as how attractive you are. Most guys think that like women care about a dude at the gym who has a 6-pack and is a gym guy and all that. Most of those people, they can't provide an exciting life. What's exciting about I'm meal prepping and I'm weighing my chicken and I can't do this and I can't do that and oh no, I can't have any snacks or anything. It's not exciting. Like you've created a lot of rules and shit. That's not fun. I can't eat out today because I'm on my fucking intermittent fasting. That's not fun. It's not exciting. You've created a bunch of rules for yourself. Women don't like that. But you would be quite surprised. Like a lot of the guys that I know that get the most girls, is they're not the best looking dudes. They're not the ripped dudes. They're not shredded. They're not in the gym. They're just like kind of look normal. But they get women. Like they can provide a fun environment. And fun doesn't necessarily mean a lot of money. It just means that they get their fun, like they're cool, they're chill, they're not pushing a lot of pressure on women. See, a lot of you guys also think that pressuring women, that turns them off. Pressure dries women out. I'm pressuring her because also expectations dry women out. They don't like any expectations that you have on her. A lot of guys, they've never even had a relationship longer than like 2 months or 3 months, and they're like, I wonder if this chick's going to be the one that I'm with for the next 60 years. That's so stupid. Like that's just such a big mistake that people make. Like, have you even had a relationship for 1 year and then you're worrying about this chick I'm going to be with for 30? It's dumb. Like those ideas are dumb, and I understand that when you're to pressure women under such an idea, it makes them uncomfortable. They don't like it. What are your thoughts on zero knowledge proofs? I think that they can do well. I mean, they're already doing well. Do I think that they're completely, private and all of that stuff? Probably not. I think that they're just having that mania. People think that like Zcash is going to replace Bitcoin for some reason, and it's not. It just has very good, I guess, shilling and crap. Do I think Ethereum is shitting the bed these days? Why do I think it is? Just as really, I guess, without a narrative. Like, what's the narrative for Ethereum? Like, what is it really doing? It's without a narrative. Like, we have the Bitcoin store of value. Like Ethereum, I mean, this like, that it can become a transactional layer of many things. You can build off it. It can become a big internet company into the future, which is what I believe will happen. It'll be a large tech company. Ethereum will be over 10,000 an ETH, so to speak, and ETH itself will be like holding equity in the company, I would guess, if you stake it particularly. But we'll have to, tokenization of real world assets is a part of it. But if they had to build on another layer of Ethereum, or they're to build that off Ethereum, then who would really know? But yeah, but I still believe Ethereum. I think like Tom Lee coming forward and trying to anchor it, move it into Wall Street, move it into the tech company angle. I think that will be a big narrative for Ethereum. I think it's like a year or two early. But I think the end of next year, I still believe the end of next year that Ethereum's like 8K or something, I guess, maybe 10. It's very, very likely. But it's like all of us, like we overestimate what can happen in, a week or two, and then we underestimate what can happen in 12 months. But Ethereum historically does well post QE. Whenever quantitative easing is to begin, Ethereum generally does well. I'll tell you guys a trick, and I've been talking to my members at SLB Crypto. I'm more worried that essentially, so quantitative tightening ended last time. We had quantitative tightening wrapped up. What was it, like July 2019, I think? And then we had COVID first outbreak in November 2019. So what's that? Probably about 4 months after. We had our first outbreak, and then we essentially had 3 months of COVID, and then we had a giant crash, and then we had quantitative easing started, which essentially we ushered in the big bull run, and essentially a big bull run in altcoins. But my concern is what's going to be the COVID level dilemma in the next few months that essentially is to reinstart QE. So I would be very frosty that there can be a big catastrophe, because the masses, they understand like these timings, and quantitative tightening ended, and then 3 months or 4 months after that, they got their first COVID. That's not a mistake. They need a big scenario to essentially push people into push the masses into being happy to be the printer to begin again. They want to print, but how do you do that? Like, if I want to print, because I have a lot of these commitments and these AI commitments, and these, we need more energy, we need more this. That's to only be done by mass debt on the average user. But you don't want any more debt, really, if you're the average person, because again, it pushes the prices of everything up again. And you've already had waves of pushing. Like, are you really ready for another post-COVID run on houses and everything? Like, are you really ready for the 50-year mortgage when house prices double in the next 5 to 10 years? And you look in and you're like, how did that happen? That already doubled. But are you ready for it to happen again? 10 years time, houses near major cities are double the price. Are you ready to be paying an extra 60, 70, 80% rent? Are you ready to live in a 60 to 80% smaller container than you are today? I really hope that you're starting to do the understanding that your quality of life has to diminish as equal to inflation. It's not that inflation, because you're not outperforming it. So imagine inflation goes to back to 12 to 15% post COVID, post this run. Are you ready to take, so if you're getting wage increases of 4 or 5%, are you ready to take a 7 to 8% quality of life less every year until you die? Because it's coming. Like, unless you can outpace inflation, that's coming. Like, that's life. You got to accept that. So you need to outpace it. You need to look at your house that you're in and renting and say that I need to either pay, I need to find a way to pay, earn 7 or 8% extra on what I am every year just to contain what I have, or I'm going to get 7 or 8%. I see my food, I see my shit. I'm going to have to take 7 or 8% less quality or portions to continually exist every year. That's life. Yeah, Trump, I mean, these stimulus checks, I mean, it's something, right? It's something for people, but also I know how cooked people are. Like, trust me, when I look at the average person, like even you guys, I know that you guys, not here, I think we're doing okay, but a lot of you are cooked, like specifically now. There's no bullshit with me. Like, I know the average person on the ground is getting crushed. I know the mask that people wear to say that they're not concerned for their future. I know they're fucking getting very concerned. I'm aware, because I'm from that sort of a life. I'm from poverty. I know what it's like. I know the feeling every day of when you wake up and it's stressful. I know that people listen to things like even me talk, and then they turn the thing off, and it's very stressful. It's hard to face it without coping and moving into distraction. And the distraction only kicks the can down the road of the inevitable, but it is coming. 5 years. You have 5 years. Every day that goes by, you have one less day to get your shit under control. It's not just shit under control from a financial perspective. It's also shit under control from how are you going to figure yourself out under mass censorship. You're going to have controlled information. Like, there's only certain things that you're going to be allowed to listen to. You're going to have your usual influences that just scream at you. And again, everything's external. Everything's outlandish, like bombastic. You don't know that the truth is mostly in the middle. Like, everything's extreme right or extreme left. In reality, most things should exist in the middle. It's true. Like, you got to understand, right is just guys who generally have luckier at parts of life and they've done well or they've worked hard, whatever it is. They usually have some advantage. And left is, I don't have any advantages, so I want to change everything. That's all. It's not this, like, guys overthink shit too much. Guys in the right have generally won the game, or they're fairly happy with how the game is being played currently. And then the ones on the left want to change the game because they've been dealt crappy cards or they fuck their cards up in some way. and then people sit there and they overthink. Like that's all it really is. But we should exist in a world where we're more in the middle. Like I'm strong and I can use my strength to help the weak because the weak might be able to help me also in some other way, instead of I'm strong and now I use my strength to suppress others. The strongest person, should get all of these outcomes and everyone else. We're not in the caves. Because who's to determine, again, like this idea of the US didn't see the value in China where they were accumulating a bunch of, essentially mineral reserves, and no one saw the value of China's investing in this shithole that no one cares about. And they were building the Belt and Road and all of these places that no one gave a shit about in the past. And now they're like, these mineral reserves are important now. And now we need to catch up quickly. That's how it works. Like there are things that you yourself also will look to and be like, this person had values and things that I didn't see yet. A tribe is made up of many people and you need everyone. You don't just need all, like this idea of everyone's an alpha and everyone, that's all bullshit. If everyone's an alpha, then nothing is going to get done. Nothing will happen if everyone's a leader. Like all leaders in a group, nothing will get done. Everyone has to exist, and understand the alpha hierarchy is not, it goes alpha, beta, delta, gamma, and it's not necessarily that one is ahead of the others and the others are shit. Everyone exists at once. See, these ideas of everyone's an alpha is bullshit. Anyone online saying that they're an alpha, they're not. It's the truth. Like they're overcompensating. Leadership is like fairly silent. Leadership is not chest beating and screaming that you're a leader and degrading all of your stuff, because otherwise you won't get very much done. And eventually there's other people who also are the actually alphas, and they'll challenge you and they'll eventually topple you. It's done like a social hierarchy, and a person who's actually an alpha, they're a peacemaker. They make peace everywhere. Like people would look at Trump and realize he's an alpha. He's a peacemaker. He doesn't stand, yes, he does stand there and defends himself and things like that, but he's trying to make, yes, of course, he's still a control opposition, I believe that, but he's trying to still make peace as he can. He punishes people who moves against him, but that's the behavior that they are to do in that sort of regard. They never forget. Like but also that's the best way to be if you want to be a powerful person. Everyone that harms you, you have to harm them back. Not harm them in that, you're to fucking wait out front of their house and shoot them. But you need to remember every step. It's the truth of the matter. Like that's a part of power, because then everyone who comes forward is like, he's going to defend himself. I have to be careful here. But when eventually he is to be toppled, it will be toppled in massive bloodthirsty fashion, like a feeding frenzy, which will happen eventually, but not today. But that's social hierarchy. It's how it works. People don't get it. Like people think beta male means that they're like pussies or something like that. But the social hierarchy is not strategy. It's not based on that. People are so afraid of being a beta male in every room. I'm the alpha. That's all bullshit. Like sometimes I'm the alpha in some rooms and some I'm not. Sometimes I'm at best not even a beta male. Like I'm a delta. I'm a worker. If I'm around people who are much better at everything that I'm good at than me, or I'm learning in one topic that someone else is a master in, I'm happy to sit under them and learn. I'm not overcompensating. I don't go to a boxing gym and be like, I'm only going to box people that I can beat up so everyone thinks that I'm an alpha. That's all pretend. Like, it's all fake. I take fake fights and I tell everyone I'm a fucking Hercules. It's all pretend. Like, that's some bullshit. Because again, if you're to be strong, why don't you go against the other strong people? It's all staged. It's fake. Like most things that you guys are watching isn't real. It's all bullshit. It's true. Like you have to realize that. You're watching staged content all of the time. Like you're not watching anyone really who would put it all on the line anymore. Like podcasts, you're watching fake versus fake. We've shook hands before the podcast and we've agreed that we'll go gentle on each other. That's all it is. I'm doing a boxing match, but we've agreed that one is fucking way superior to the next. It's all bullshit. No one's putting it on the line anymore because everyone's like, oh, I don't want to lose what I have. So you're watching all of the time manufactured content. I hope you know that. You're watching podcasts of guys yelling at OnlyFans whores, but the girls are happy to go along with it because they get promoted on the platform. Or they're like, oh, I've been kicked out of the show, but my clip went viral and I got an extra 10,000 simps. That's all it is. Like, I hope that you know that they've shook hands and laughed, and now they're going under the audience doesn't know that everything's bullshit. You once said that the women you meet on Hinge you were not supposed to meet, so should you not use it? Hinge, I mean, I haven't used that in fucking like I think I used it briefly in like 10 years ago or some shit. But I mean, but honestly, like it depends what it is that you're going for. If you look in the mirror and you're 25 years old or 22 and you're like, I just want to get laid or I just want to date or I want to get experience, it's one thing to jump on the apps and be like, whatever. But this idea of like, but again, you do things for a purpose. Like, what's your purpose? If your purpose is this pleasure, then it's going to be like fucking holding on to sand. It's going to dwindle down. Pleasure is bottomless. Like, oh, I'm just on the apps, but also it's not only that. Some of you are on the apps because you just want to be distracted. And then some of you on the apps because you feel like you're validated if you can convince a girl to touch your wiener. That it's some accomplishment, specifically if you've had to lie to get it. A lot of guys, like these dating dweebs, they get chicks and they just lie to them. And then as soon as they fuck, their mask falls off. And then they're like, oh, I have to find the new chick because they lied to get what they wanted. And then they got it and they can't contain it. You can't hold on to it. How would you define a good balance of both masculine and feminine, a male and female relationship? It's a good question. But understand, like most of you, again, this masculine, you need to find the balance of masculine and feminine within you. Like some guys get intimidated at that sort of an idea, like they really do, and they don't realize that the feminine within is a part of what women gel to. Like it's actually a big part. Guys don't think like they see guys like Machine Gun Kelly and they look in and they're like, "Oh, how do women like him? Like he's a fucking fag." A lot of women like that. It's not that he's a fag; it's that he's comfortable with who he is. Do you need to be painting your nails? No, but do you need to have an open dialogue of communication? Yes. Because that's cope, like running around thinking women want to be with a caveman. Why do the cavemen who come into the countries have to force women to fuck them, hold them down and abuse them? Because they don't want that shit. Like they don't. They really don't. Like guys think like women are like, have you ever been to a fight gym? Most of the guys there are with ugly women. Like most. Most have zero dick control and their chicks aren't attractive. So if women only wanted a caveman who could knock everyone out, why are they with ugly chicks? Most of them. It's because they don't. Like women don't want that. Women don't want cavemen. They want guys who can communicate openly and make her feel something. Cavemen, by definition, is going to be a lack of being able to open up. Women have changed. Like the idea of women wanting the strong, silent type, that was when women didn't have many rights. They've changed. Everything has changed. Like I hope that you fucking know that. People, for some reason, think that it hasn't changed. It has. Women get what they want now. They wanted it in the past too, but they couldn't go for it. Now they can. They have selection. They have choices. You have to be fun. You have to be able to connect and talk to her and have to have open communication. You have to figure them out. Standing there and doing a front double bicep and be hitting the bag, that doesn't mean anything. I don't care about that. Most of them. Do you think faceless content creation will be affected by a 2030 agenda? Yes, of course. Faceless content, you have no edge. I'm a faceless creator, but I have no edge. My edge is scale because I can scale and produce a bunch of slop at scale, but I have no edge. The edge is that you can jump on and talk and you at least be able to be like, this is me. So if people want to, subscribe to me, they know who I am versus when you're to produce slop content that can be still good, whatever, but they're going to get better over time. You're going to be muted. You have no edge. Your edge is scale at the moment, but eventually it will get easier to produce what you do, but at a bigger scale. So I'd hope you're really knocking it home now. Like if you're, again, you're on OF, but you're producing AI OF models, you better be producing them at scale and really taking advantage over the next 1 to 2 years because as the tech and the things improve, that'll be, again, you're just producing slop. And as the tech and things improve, others will be able to do it and at a bigger scale. Like you better be really hitting it home now because you have a good time to make money in that field, but it won't always be like that. From your point of view, do dating apps like Bumble actually help them find something real, or do they just make dating more confusing? It's a good question. I think that they can help you refine down to what it is that you want. Like, I'm not to say that when you're in your early 20s or 25, or even if you don't have a lot of experience, you probably don't know what you want. And apps like that can, in fact, in my view, help you to refine down what it is that you want. If you haven't done the work inside and you don't realize what it is that you want out of a woman, or you may, but also there's nothing wrong. Like if a guy tells me, oh Stephen, I just want to date, or I want to fuck, but I also want to date, maybe I want companionship or anything, but I don't want any kids yet, or I don't want to get married, or I don't want anything serious, that's fine. There are women that want that, but my argument is don't do it with the trad chicks who want what they tell you. They want a long-term relationship and I want kids and I want that. And you're like, yeah, yeah, me too. And then you just pump and dump the chick and then lie to her and kick her out on the street. Because then the next guy gets her and he's like, I've got a broken person. Because don't be ignorant to think that you can't break women, because you can. Like they break quite easily. If you have a chick and she has really no experience and you lie to her and convince her to suck your cock, and then you turns out you got a wife or you fucking got this or you got that, you've mostly damaged a chick. Like the next guy she's going to be broken with, she's been lied to. That's her first experience is negative. Her first view of men is that men will say anything to get me to fuck them and then fuck them off. Like again, with great power comes great responsibility. I'm great psychologically with women and I'm great with these Machiavellianism tactics, but I don't use them on the uninitiated. I use them on the initiated. If someone's competent, I mean, if a chick's a hoe, I can use them for sure. But I don't use them on people who are like civilians. I don't, because it doesn't help anyone. Like it really doesn't. It's like you walk into a room and you napalm the whole room, but you didn't need to. Again, that's that. But again, that's being a man. Like being strong is not I'm strong, therefore I take fights against pussies and beat them up. That's not what men do. If you're strong, then go against the strongest people and prove that you are in fact strong. A lot of these ideas again is to suppress again, like, but it's all based on insecurity. I'm Hercules, but I don't want to go up against the other Hercules. I'm really good with these tactics and things, but then I use them on the weak. I have a bunch of experience with women, and now my goal is to get women with no experience and then suppress them. It's dumb. Like those ideas are stupid. It's different if you're using strategies and things that you've learned because essentially you're moving a girl down a funnel, but you actually want something serious. But if you're just using them to, like pump and dump and stuff, that's stupid. Like these ideas actually quite sicken me. This idea of guys stand there and talk about pumping and dumping women like it's funny for some reason. It's not. And then women will talk so poorly about men and they'll get upset. But you're a mirror. Like you attract what you are. So if you're standing there pushing the same ideas about women, like that whatever podcast guy, what is it, Andrew or whatever, he's been talking about women like they're fucking toe rags for fucking over a year. And then it comes on that one chick's like, yeah, but you're married to a girl who's got 3 baby daddies. And then he has a fucking meltdown. But it's the truth. Like, why are you judging women at all? Like, why are you even speaking about hoes when you're with a chick who has 3 baby daddies? You have no right to even speak about women. Like you're the one that you're bitching about. Like you have zero self-awareness. And then he has a meltdown when that stuff's pointed out. It doesn't matter how you sugarcoat it. If you're with a chick and you married a girl with 3 baby daddies, that's not good. Like that doesn't qualify you to jump on a podcast and talk about how women are hoes. Like you wifed a girl who and wifed it. Like that's it. Like all of this knowledge to do a podcast that gets millions of followers and shit, all of this information that you have and you all the this and that, and that's all you could get. Like that's a fruit of your ideas. You're the one that you have. Like again, the self-hatred is everywhere. Like a lot of those people, they don't like themselves, and then they're not happy with what it is they have. But understand those ideas don't work. Like yelling at women and trying to pressure them and bully them into being the woman that you want, that doesn't work at all. None of those ideas work. And as soon as a woman sees that you're being hard on other women, they don't like it. It doesn't matter if a chick goes to church every single day. If she sees you talking about a whore as a whore, it dries her out. They don't like it. Because they're designed that way. They have a hive mind. So if you upset one, you upset all of them. It's true. Like if you ever have chicks in a room or a party or whatever, and you go off at one, the others are turned off as well. Like you'll be surprised to see everyone was on my side and then suddenly no one was on my side. Because women band together and they might not tell you, but suddenly, like, how many times I've been at a table and I've gone off at one chick and then the others have been offended is I've lost count. But I also know what I'm doing. Like, I don't really, but also I don't really care if I offend people, if they're rude to me first. In what aspect does the feminine side also play a role in a male to male relationship? It's an interesting idea. I believe the feminine can have a place where you can essentially be able to communicate. Like, I mean, when you have a friendship with a guy, what is your depth of connection? Like, what do you speak about? Do you have a friendship where someone that you can go to and talk to if you have a bad day? Do you have someone that you can actually be real with? Or do you have friends where you have to pretend that you're Hercules all of the time? Because if you have that, most of you, they're not friendships. Like they're just, it's like almost like a competitive relationship that you're in, like a friendship, but it's competitive based. Like I can't be vulnerable here because this person, I want them to see that I'm determined, but it's not real. So again, that's the thing. Is it respect based? Do they still respect you if you have a bad day? Some guys really genuinely believe that if they were to go to a funeral and cry, that everyone would hate them for some reason or think that they're a pussy. That's so dumb. Like these ideas are really toxic. Some of these ideas that the guys have are toxic, and they're overcompensating to the other extreme massively. It's like something has happened and now they've just coped to the other extreme. Someone got one over me, or I felt weak, or I felt this, or I felt that, and now I've overcompensated to the other extreme entirely and disconnected from the part of it that makes me a human. Man has both, I believe, the feminine and masculine, and you exist in the middle. You also have a shadow and a light, and you exist in the middle, and all of that stuff has to exist. This is a Jung idea because also it's within your connection to guys. I mean, how are you going to have a depth of communication if there's no honesty? Like we're not Terminator, we're not Superman. We have bad days, we have this, we have that. But also there's a difference between a strong guy turning around and saying, my day was shit, whatever happened. I've got this going on, I got this going on, versus another who's a pussy and he sits there and whines about it. Do dating apps actually bring closer to real connections, or do they just make modern dating feel more complicated? I mean, it sounds like you need to do some fucking dating app experience and come back to me. Like, how many questions you've asked that are just completely basic on dating apps? Just fucking date and then come back to me and be like, this is my experience. What's next? You're going to ask me how to fucking put on a condom and be like, what? Tell me what this pussy feels like. Just fucking do it. If you want to do it, do it. That's all. Only 1 billion people will be in 2035. Yeah, I would believe it's possible, and probably less. Do you think you should never get with a woman who has a child, even if she's a good girl and got promiscuous and she had a child when she's young and dumb? I didn't say that. There's no rigid, like there's really there's no rigid fucking, there's no rigid rules of if that's what you want. If you're with a chick and she's a great girl and she's got a kid and you don't care and it's not me to say that that's wrong. Because for you, it's probably not. But this idea of, again, like if you're with a chick and she's got 3 baby daddies and you marry her, then to me, that's probably a very likely a large mistake. That's not a good thing. Like you're likely to be number 4 when it doesn't work out. Like you're with someone that's been divorced. Again, I understand things can happen and shit can happen, but it's not a good sign. I know I have a controversial idea. I would rather be with a girl who'd been in, I don't know, 3 or 4 relationships that lasted 6 months than be with a girl who was married for 5 or 10 years. I wouldn't want that because, again, they actually had a life together. It's different. You're going to be, again, retrocausality exists in women that you can overwrite the past, yes, but you're going to have a fucking hard thing to overwrite with a person who's been married for a percentage of their life. You're getting them as the next life. They've already done mostly everything. Like there's nothing for you to do versus a girl who's even been in a few relationships. They've moved all of their way down. That was serious. Like they chose a person for their life and it didn't work out for whatever reason. And it doesn't mean that they're condemned, but I wouldn't want to move into that. Like they had a life before you. It wasn't just, I was in a relationship and I was young and dumb. They're like, I was married. We swore vows and all this shit. Like it's more serious. So again, these tards turn around and these trad tards and they'd be like, but this girl, yeah, she was married twice and like she's salt of the earth and it didn't work. How are you going to be married multiple times and it doesn't work? At what point is it your fault? Because when it doesn't work out with you, she's going to be the same thing, turn around and be like, you're a fucking animal. And I told you guys before, these ideas, if you have a platform, if you have a business, if you have an audience or you're public and you bring your girl on and platform her, you're in fucking danger. Like you're really in the danger zone. If you platform a girl on your public ID, like your public Instagram, your business, your anything, if you introduce her to your friends, you gotta be careful. Because again, if it doesn't work out, it's going to make you look retarded. Where was I in Tate's War Room? Yeah, I was in there for a period. I was in there, but I'm not in there now. But I was in there for a period. I don't have bad things to say about it in that it wasn't a bad place for networking or any of that. And Tate is exceptional. Like Tate himself is exceptional, and he has a lot of fucking very good things that he says. I believe that he's very good on the physical side, as reflected by his work ethic. He works 100 times harder than me. His work ethic is just unmatched. That sort of regard, that's the truth of it. But I believe that some of that stuff falls over with when it relates to emotionality, that everything can exist at once and it's okay. This, like, I need to be a Terminator and my son or even daughter needs to see me as Superman. And I don't think any of that is real or that it helps. Because if you're struggling with certain things that ultimately your kids will likely struggle with at some point and you don't show them the true dad, then how are they going to not look in the mirror and be like, I'm different. My dad was the Terminator and I'm struggling. I have no one to turn to. I'm not the same. Versus if, like with me, if I've had problems within the past, drugs or whatever it is, gambling, other things, I'll be very open about that. It doesn't help people, in my view, to keep people in the dark. Like if I stand here and tell you guys I'm so different to you that I'm the Terminator, it doesn't really help you with anything. Like how does it? I'm different to you, so you could never do what I've done. Versus you see yourself in parts of me and you realize that actually there are many things that I've done that you yourself can do and overcome. How long does a solid night session last, in your opinion? And do you have a strict set of questions? I don't do that all of the time. I do it much less now, maybe like even like once a month or something like that. But things can come up for me. But again, you have to be unobserved. You have to be alone. Your best connection to the lattice is going to be found alone. And it can come in certain times that are hard to understand. And I believe it's also very related to the moon and certain modes and moods that you're in. But certain times that you find that you have a very tight connection to the lattice. At night, obviously, during the day, I don't feel the same. But at nights, it's a big one. But again, it has to be in isolation is a big part of it. And it just depends. Like a list of questions or something is not sitting there like it's some fucking like you're too far into the logic. You really only need one. Again, like understand this idea of I have one. If I was to die in 10 years and I only had one goal that I wanted to tick off or one thing. For you, it might be I want to learn guitar. I want to fucking have a kid. I want to bang 50 girls. I want to make $1 million. I want to know what it's like to climb this mountain, or I want to know what it's like to travel back home where I'm from. If that was your one dream and you had 10 years to do it, then that would be something that I would focus on. And I would look in and be like, all right, this is my one dream. And now what are these things that are in the way of it? And then I would realize that a lot of you are doing things that collide with your largest goal. So, I mean, you're not going to really get it. Like, that's the truth. So, I mean, it's simple when you actually break it down into one thing instead of I want to do too much. Simplicity is easiest to do. That's true. Like, do you want it enough? Most of you, again, I want to start a business, but then a week in, I want to start a different business. That shit doesn't work. And none of that stuff really works. But that's the truth of the matter. That's the nature of it. Any other questions? What do I think is the universal truth that most people cannot handle? I guess most people probably exactly as they're meant to be. Unfortunately, it doesn't mean that it's fair because the universe isn't. But again, another truth is a universal truth is essentially the law of balance. But if you help others up and they're not really ready for it, or they haven't really done it, it's not merit based, and you give them something, it can become a problem for you. What do you think about the future of digital service promotion? Do you think regulations could hinder online commerce? Yeah, I would believe it's likely true. Everything will change. I mean, if you're the big dog in your niche and you're online, even if you're selling courses, selling products, selling digital products, they'll probably still exist. But if they can replicate all of your work and charge much less, I mean, why would you pay to be around me? And that's fine, I would get it. Why would you pay me, I don't know, $1,000 when you can pay an AI product that's essentially studied all of my work and studied the best of the best to do it for $5? Some people will, but most won't. And that's fine. That's the nature of it. I don't expect loyalty in that sort of regard, because you got to look after you. Like, you really do. I mean, my shit, I don't stand here and scream about my groups and shit from the top of the ocean or the top of the world, because if you want to join, you'll join. But again, it's whatever's best for you. You got to look after you first. I don't ever stand there and say my groups will cure cancer and all of this shit like a lot of others that just talk about their shit and it's nothing special. My groups are the best in TCM, though, because of the exercises. The exercises are the ones that actually change your life. Do you think humanity can still thrive after 2030 as AI accelerates and gene editing becomes mainstream? Not as they are, no. Not as they are. I'm not bullish on normies. Like, let's just say that. I'm not. But I'm also not really, if I had to say I'm bullish on me, I'm not really bullish on me like 20 years from now because I've said too much online. So that's the truth. But I already know that I can't change. So you'll never see me jumping on and telling you guys to, join certain religions or, do certain pivots and certain shit because I can't do that. I can't chest beat and tell you guys to, move to certain countries and do this and do that and do this, even if it's profitable to do so. So I'm going to run out of places to go eventually. I can't sell out. Like it's not who I am. And I'm not saying sell out and then obviously I still sell courses and shit like that is one thing. But I can't go against who I am. Like even when I was in the war room, I got kicked out of the war room. I can't like I went after one of the guys, Iggy, in public because he insulted me first. But I can't like he said for guys to get a vasectomy. And I said that was complete bullshit and guys shouldn't be getting mutilating surgeries and things like that, especially when they're impressionable and they're youth. There's fucking guys in there that are 18, don't even know themselves. What is the point of a vasectomy? I understand it if it's what you want, but if you've thought it through. But this idea of it can be reversed, it can't always be reversed. And again, this is a surgery. Like, what if something goes wrong and you get a problem because of that? But my issue is also is you don't know. Like maybe you're 22 or 23 and you're like, I don't want kids. And then you think, oh, we'll get it done. Fuck it. Then I can fuck raw and do all this shit. And then 5 years after that, you're like, actually, I do want kids. And then you couldn't reverse it. You've lost something, like something very serious has been stolen from you. And maybe that's like a 30 or 40% chance or something, but that's still a big risk. There will be people from that idea who can't have kids now who will be looking in being like, that guy stole something from me. I was impressionable and he fucked me over in a big way. I can't get that back. I'll never be a father because I fucked that up and fell into a big psyop by a wizard. That's serious. So again, I went, kind of argued and I'm not in the group anymore. So that's it. But again, this idea of like, to me, leadership doesn't exist. Like, I don't care if someone's to be determined to be a leader if they're doing things that move against who I am. Impressionable people are being impressioned in a way that's dangerous. But again, like I understand vasectomies if it's what you want, right? But I also don't understand promoting it to people who are in rooms that don't know what they're still trying to figure themselves out. It's not good. If you've talked bad about people of specific countries online and against the New World Order, do you think we should avoid autonomous cars? Because yes, I would believe it's likely true. That shit's true. Like it's very genuinely true, specifically once digital IDs and things come about. Because a digital ID idea, like you'll have it on your app and they'll be able to track where you are much easier. But I believe what will happen is, so there'll be digital ID. There'll be more. I don't know about vaccination, how else they'll do it, but they'll have some sort of device like this, like Israeli phones, where essentially they blew up in a bunch of people and things like that. It won't be as obvious, but there'll be certain things that they can do. Maybe they've already done it with vaccines. Will be to be determined. But once you're linked to your digital ID, they'll be able to get rid of you if they want. At first, they'll be able to like mute you, so you won't have any lights on you. Like if you jump online and talk, no one will see it. Like no one will notice what it is. Like I told my members, if you've written certain things online about certain groups, you better delete them. Otherwise, you're going to stand before them in court eventually, or you're going to get negative social credit, or you're going to be labeled a digital troublemaker. And if they're to conscript people, you'll be the first conscripted. Like these guys don't understand, like Nick Fuentes and others, they're allowed to talk online because they're seeing who is to exist under them. And they'll be fine because they have an audience, but you won't be. That's why they exist. Like this, like Kanye's a white supremacist. He's fucking black. Candace Owens speaks for me. She's fucking black. She doesn't speak for me at all. She doesn't know what it's like to be a white person, as I don't speak for black people. That's it. Like your leadership are all compromised, and if you can't see it, then I don't know what to tell you. Like your trad leaders are all compromised, like on a massive scale that I can't even imagine. Like I can't believe how it's not so obvious. That's why it also baffles me to understand that when the Antichrist is formed, people will fall for it. Because they already fall for it now. My leadership of my white movement are all black. They're all mixed race people. How are we even falling for that? The one who really speaks for men's rights is some like woman. Is speaking with high convictions about the future without taking information labeling from the highest form of alignment. It's interesting theory. Possibly. That's very possible. It's possible. But also, it's not a bad thing to take in information to essentially keep yourself grounded. some things have to be grounded. Like there are some firmware and some rules and things of the universe that do exist that you can't go against. The law of balance is one. If you wish bad for others, the law of balance will also cause problems for you. That's why witchcraft and things do fall over. You know, these ideas of like they get the Kabbalah wizards and things like that. The reason why they're so ugly is because they're ugly internally. But Kabbalah, you best bet that shit does work. Kabbalah is very powerful. Like that's why these wizards and shit jump on. It's not wizards that are, but then when like guys are paying like like $10,000 an hour, and they're like Kanye's meeting with that Kabbalah wizard and shit like that. That's all very real. But then you see why they're so ugly, the people, because ugliness is radiated from the inside. You do bad for others, and essentially it does poisons your soul. It's true. And it starts to radiate internally. Speaking with the answer that. What are your thoughts on Monero? I think Monero will have a good run, I guess. But do I think it's compromised? Probably, because they arrested Fluffy Pony for in Africa, and then they let him go. I believe that the O-rings are compromised. Hey, SRB, can you go deeper into why giving money to people who don't deserve it is damaging for the soul? It is, because it's bread of shame. Bread of shame exists. Like it's a real thing. That's a Jewish concept, and that's one that they get extremely right. What is to be determined as selfish is selfish to us, but in their community, they're not selfish. Like they only spend locally mostly. They look after each other very well. They see the brother in each other. So I do understand why they do in fact do well of that sort of regard. That's a universal law as well. Like these are universal laws that they stick to, is I'm in my own lane and I look after myself and my own people. I don't care about the other people. I can take like this idea of, oh, we can move to a new area and fuck the locals over. They do that, and they can. It's according to their rules. They look after each other, so it balances the shit out. It's true. That's the idea, and it's part of it. It does work for them. Do I think that that I would ever join over to that? I would never would. It's not who I am, but I can understand why they're so successful as a group of people. They don't fuck each other over. Like it's very uncommon. Like it's very uncommon that they would go head to head with each other. They just combine together, and they can. Not all of them. Not all of them are doing that, but some of them certainly can fuck over others. What do you think about karma? Karma exists as a balance. It's the universal law of balance. I mean, we wouldn't be here if balance didn't exist, so it has to. That's the idea of, if you're in misery now, there is an exact opposite of you that will be a moments of complete bliss if you essentially move down the path that you're meant to move down. Do you know how many moments and times that I've had where I was completely miserable? I would say that I've probably spent half my life miserable, maybe more, sitting there and thinking that when my real life will begin. I used to think that I needed to be a millionaire, but I always knew that I would be rich. Like I never knew that I would be rich when I was obviously, moments down, but I knew that I would have access to money. I just thought that I would always gamble it, because I've always had money. I mean, I used to sell drugs when I was younger. So I've always had access to, at least like 10K a week or something, which is a lot, but I used to gamble all the time. So it wasn't a lot. But yeah, the universal balance exists. But again, like if you're these ideas and things that are foreign, if you're destined for a high life path, you will be tested for it. It's true. Like you'll be tested as equal to your faith. Some people's testing is that they have to resist jumping off a building. Some people can't resist it. It gets too much. But the worst thing for people is that they just don't have the will to act. Like they can't actually take this charge that's giving them by the universe and actually move it into something productive. You're tested and you have a hard life. So you want to withdraw from that test. I'm tested, but I want to like pull back into porn or, distractions or video games or whatever it is that you pull back from. So you get a charge and then you pull back, withdraw. And essentially you actually had a charge and you get fed off. So you get a charge and then you pull back and then you you distract yourself, but the charge still exists, but something feeds on it instead of you actually taking control of it and then moving in a direction that's, for you. Again, it's like the idea of the trauma itself is either a noose around your neck or a slingshot. That's true. That's the truth. That's very true. It's just what you do with it that matters. Most people destroys them. Some it doesn't. What do you think of the risks of muting the world for a while, focusing solely on digital product and service production within the free market competition? Because I don't think that there really is any risks. Most of the shit that's posted in the news doesn't matter. Like it doesn't. I only watch the news or don't really watch it, but I listen to the crypto news just to be kept up to date. But most of the stuff is bullshit. Like, again, it's just sensationalist headlines. Most of you would be, your life would be completely different and better if you muted 99% of the influencers that you follow. They're just producing slop, or their content is essentially making you feel uncomfortable or making you feel bad. I see someone in a Lambo and then I get in my Corolla and I feel shit. I'm watching people run around Dubai and like my life is like normal, and I'm watching people living sensationalist lives. That doesn't help you. Like, how does that help you at all? It's unrelatable to you, and also it makes you form either an envy or that your life is inadequate. And there's a difference between being like hungry, but also it's not your life path for the most part. Very unlikely that it even is. Do you know how many people come to Dubai, which is for men, which is essentially Bali for men, and trying to find themselves? I'm trying to find myself in spending millions of dollars, and my dream is to be a big flexer because they're hollow. I'm going to flex on other men. People will think I'm serious if I have a Rolls Royce. I'm sitting in traffic. There's nothing there. Again, it's empty. Like, those ideas and things, they have no legs. I hope you know that. You will be you wherever you go. You will be you regardless of your income. You will be you regardless of the money in the bank. For some of you, actually, the money will destroy you because now you have more time to look at the shit that bothers you. If the bills and shit were removed from your mind, now you would focus on the other shit from the past, likely, and then that would be a spiral because you can distract yourself in more bombastic ways. I can get high every day if I want, be drunk every day if I want. I can fuck 10 girls every day if I want. You have to have self-control now. Otherwise, you can blow yourself up. How to survive if digital IDs become mandatory? I mean, survival is to be determined. I mean, what it is that you would want. You have to figure out what you want, because I mean, these ideas, again, these are why I stand here and I say it doesn't, there's no, like, I don't stand here and tell you there's a one size fits all, because it's not true. What do you want? Like, who do you want to be? What are your goals? Like, what do you know? I'm really stunned that every day I know that there are people who have not written down their goals. Like, you don't even know what you want. How are you ever going to get it? And even if you get things, how do you even know that you won't know when it happens? You're like, some of you, like, you understand that when you're pumping and dumping chicks, you're throwing away a girl that you may never get again. Women are on a decay. Like, socially, they're on a decay, meaning that a woman today is going to be a better long-term prospect than one 10 years from now. So this idea of I have unlimited time and I've got all of this, who said that you have unlimited time? I never said that. Time is the most finite, important thing that exists. It's not that you're moving from a position of scarcity, but you have to move from a position of, I have a vision and a plan. Women love plans. Have you ever actually sat down and not, but actually sat down with a chick and she's like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Have you ever done that? Probably not. If you ever ask a girl, what are your goals for the next year, or where do you see yourself in a year or 2 years or 5 years? Most of you will be completely stunned because you don't even know the girl that you're either with or the one that you're dating. You have no idea what it is that she even wants. She's with you and she wears a mask because you're guiding her in a way that she doesn't even want. And then one day she'll leave and you're like, what the fuck happened? Because you didn't know her. Like, you didn't even know what she wanted, who she is. Goals are how you figure out the person that you're in. And then also, some of you, I know that if I'm like, where do you see yourself in 2 years? You'll be like, I'm a big chiller. I don't know what. I'm just existing. You're not going to make it. Like, if you're like that, you're not going to make it. You're drifting around, and essentially reality, or like, the loudness of the world is just going to push you in a shit path. Some of you are like, my idea is like, I'm escaping the matrix. Again, these are very broad terms, and they have no, like, what does that mean for you? What does escaping the matrix mean if you're just a massive consumer? If you're essentially that's the matrix's main toy, get you consuming, because it's, again, like, that's the external validation. I'm nothing if I don't have the right t-shirt on. I'm nothing if I'm not have the right apartment. I'm nothing if I don't buy and purchase more goods. I need to feed the consumer beast. Again, understand that idea is pushed by marketing. I tell you that your life is shit if you don't buy a Lambo. So every single moment of the day, you have to sit around and think, what can I do to get a car? Because, the car companies are happy with it. Most of the things, again, you got to write a list down of what I'm happy to do alone. Like, what do I like that doesn't cost money? What do I like to do that doesn't cost money? Because a lot of you will realize that you have no depth. Like, if you're, again, you're to exist and, write down a list of things that I enjoy that don't require any money. And if that list is empty, you have no depth. Like, you're disconnected from the soul, like you're disconnected from nature. If you don't know anything that you can do that doesn't require costs or tech, or you're not fun, like, that's your problem. You're not fun with women either. Like, the women exist outside of, we just sit and play Xbox, we sit and drink, and they exist in terms of fun. Who are you without all of this money and all of this bullshit as a person? Like, who are you actually deep down? I like to drive my car, but without that, like, who are you if you strip everything away? What do you like to do that doesn't require cash? What do you do? Like, again, what would you do for a date if you didn't have any money? Most people would crumble under such an idea. And the women know that. Trust me, you best bet women are very good detectors of that. Women hate money. I mean, they like the tool of it, can buy shit and they can buy entertainment. But as soon as you start mentioning money to them, it drives them out. They hate it. And they will actually punish you in that regard. So if we get a charge, what are we supposed to do with it? I mean, just be a good person. It's not negative. It's not necessarily that. And yes, watching porn is bad. Watching porn really is that bad. I hate to break it to you, and I hate to be the one that tells you the bad news. It's not bad in that you're watching porn and, like, it's harming society. It's not harming society in that regard. Really, it's harming you. Because porn keeps the, it's kind of like the sedative. Porn is the sedative of the masses. It's true. Like, you're comfortable with, essentially jerking off over someone else having sex. And I'm not to say that to degrade you or say that you shits or all of these things, because it might not be. I mean, I've watched porn before in the past in my life as well. But, getting someone watching porn and they're like, oh, I jerked off every few months or something and I watched it. It's different than someone who's watching it habitually. Like, I watched it every day or twice a day. It's worse again. Jerking off is not the same as watching porn. Watching porn is, again, you're watching simulated sex. It's completely different. It's a different process. You're nutting over, again, nutting over your imagination is not the same as nutting over, shit that you're watching someone fuck. That's a problem. Like, you're being conditioned to be an observer. It's going to be harder for you to actually fuck. Porn itself is like it pushes you down a funnel of actually not having sex. Because then also you can get like dick issues later on, where you've been watching porn for too long, and when you're to actually have sex, you're like, I don't enjoy this as much as I do just watching porn. Porn is easy. Like, there's no risk. I didn't have to date a chick. I just sat home and jerked off. Maybe it took like 5 or 10 minutes, and then back in, do what I want. But also, a lot of you can get distracted by the cloud of porn. Like, porn, you bust a nut to porn, and then your brain is in a cloud. It's like, it's easy to just be distracted. I felt some feeling come up that I didn't really want to face, and then I convinced myself that I was just horny, and then but you're not horny. Like, it's different when you wake up in the night and you're like, I'm woken up with a heart on and I'm horny. It's different. The versus the opposite of, sometimes this thought comes up or something comes up that I want to face, and I want to distract it by impulsively jerking off. But understand that when you do that, you're anchoring that thought to porn. That's dangerous. See, there's our Machiavellianism perfect concept, is that you can anchor women's ideas sexually easily as well. Like, you can program women during sex really well. But you're programming yourself that when you're to feel this emotion, you jerk off. So then when you're to feel it, you think again that I'm horny, but you're not. You just want to be distracted. So there's a difference. That's the thing. So yes, porn is in itself toxic, but these ideas and things, when you have a charge, you have to move it into something that's, something productive. Doesn't necessarily mean to, I want to go and make $1 million, but now is when you actually have a charge, you should be working, because if all that work's going to be done, it's going to be more productive. You should be designing your reality, writing down your goals, envisioning what it is that you want. How will it feel when you have it? What do you want? What do you want that has depth, though? Ideally, what do you want, that actually has some soul to it, not just physical goods? What's your opinion on all these guys cutting off cold of their lifelong friends and watch these money-focused influencers, and they get stuck in the middle of their way? Yes, it's true. It can happen, right? It's not necessarily that you have to cut everyone else off. Of course, you have to cut people off if they are toxic or they're not really supportive. Not that they have to be too supportive, but they're toxic to you actually. I want to quit drugs, but I'm around guys smoking weed all day. I want to stop going to the club, but I'm around guys going to the club all the time. I want to get a relationship, but I'm around fuckboys. See, that's also a big part of the problem. Guys need to realize that if they want to have a wife or they want to have a long-term relationship, if you're with fuckboy circles, you're not going to have that, because you're going to miss what you had. if you want to move down a path of getting married or you actually want a long-term relationship, you're going to have to unfollow a lot of that crap that's from the past and close off all their stories. Or Friday, Saturday night, you're going to be like, I miss what I had. You have to kill, like, again, it's you v you. One of you has to die. The old you, if you want goals that they collide together, old you has to die. Like, you best fucking be aware of it. I'm 30. I'm ready to settle down. I haven't slept around, but I'm struggling to know if I'm being realistic, wanting with the woman I truly want, or if I should just find a good person. The idea of settling down is not really true. Like, this idea of I want to settle down, it makes it seem like it's lame. And it makes it seem like it's something that you move into retirement. But relationships are active work. Like, I'm ready to settle down now. I've hit my 6 home runs, and now I can just run off into. You're going to have to still work in a relationship. Like, it's not going to be fun. The chick's not going to stick around, or she's not really going to be satisfied. It's part of it. Like, you can run off to the caves, as a lot of these guys do with their mentality, and they can, get a chick that's suppressed and that she has no rights to do a lot of things. But if you want a girl in the West, she's going to be able to leave you if she wants, if you're boring. Or if you're, not doing what it is that you wanted, or you didn't vet. It's like, guys think that they can just wake up tomorrow and find a girlfriend, and it's not true. Like, of all of the girls that you know, how many do you know that are long-term potential? I think I know maybe like 200 or 300 girls off the top of my head. And I probably know maybe 5 that I would actually, be happy to be in a long-term relationship with. So, I mean, if I know that, what's that, like a couple of percent? So if you're honest about it, or, you're open about it, all of this, like, again, it's not just something that you just wake up and it happens. It's the truth of it. Like, you have to be realistic about these ideas. But again, if it's what you want, then you can start vetting correctly and actually move down that path. But these ideas are, like, a lot of you overthink. Like, you think that there's really this checklist for women, and as long as a woman checks all of these boxes, and yes, she could lie to me to get there and all of this, that suddenly everything's going to work out. And it's not true. Sometimes it doesn't work out, and it's the best thing that ever happened to you, because it's who you become along the way. Like, this idea of I'm 30 and I'm going to settle down with this woman forever, and that's all bullshit. Like, if you've never had it before, why do you think that you're just going to be with a person for 40 years if you've never even had a relationship for more than 1 or 2 years? And it doesn't mean that that's wrong. Like, you overthink to a point where you're going to have nobody. Like, you're not even ever going to try it. It's like someone being in the boxing ring and they're like, I want to go undefeated for my whole career, but I've never had a boxing match. That's dumb. Like, you can understand that idea and be like, that's stupid. That's probably not going to happen. Why does he think like that? But then you're like, I want a surety from another person. How are you ever going to get surety from another person? You're only going to get it playing control games, and they're not going to stick. Because people are people. They can wake up tomorrow and stop loving you. A woman certainly can. And that's life. It's okay. You move forward. You take the good with the bad. Again, like, your whole idea, it can't be stuck to what a girl thinks of you. If she wakes up tomorrow and dumps you, like, what? Again, who cares? Yeah, okay, it's unfortunate it happens, but what are you going to do? Like, what are you going to do about it? 90% of the time, dating isn't worse. And most of the time, you're dating with someone rude, mediocre bitch, and legal risks aren't worth it. Escorts are at least honest. That's the funnel of escorts, though. Like, you fell into the escort funnel, and essentially you've replaced it. You're thinking logically, like, you've ignored that love exists. You're damaged. You're going to reproduce with an escort. Love doesn't exist because you've been down the escort funnel. You've commoditized sex, similar to a girl who's a sugar baby, and she'll say the same story. You're the mirror of that. That's the funnel that you can fall into, because that's the logic. Like, logic does speak like that, and that's true logically. Like, why would I be in a relationship if it's going to fall over and the girl might be bad and all of these things, when I can just bang escorts for $100 a pop? But is that really how far we've fallen? Because again, the next logic will be, why would I want to pay $100 for escorts if I can just jerk off the VR porn all day? That's the next step. We've lost the human touch. That's the problem. That's the problem with people, is that we've certainly lost the human touch. We've lost that connection. And we've also devalued that connection, because it hurts. It hurts to like someone and know that they can leave you. I know that. It hurts to love a chick and know that she could, at any time leave. But that's why it's beautiful. It's not beautiful to bang escorts. It doesn't matter. You can bang a chick who's a 10 out of 10 escort. It's not the same as fucking a girl who's 6 out of 10 that really likes you. Like, that's just not true. It's not the same. It's not even the same process. It's not. It's all simulated. It's very different, not that different to jerking off. If someone told me that you could bang escorts or jerk off to porn, I would just jerk off to porn. Like, the upside is all the same. It's not real. Like when you fucking escort, it's not real. And the most dangerous thing about an escort is if you yourself start to convince yourself that there's something there. As soon as you bang an escort, you're only banging the chick who's essentially she's put a mask on as she walked through the front door. And the worst thing is if you don't see that it's a mask and now you fall into it. Is this all because of me group and just a naturalization of decay over good times? It's a deterioration. I mean, I don't want to say that it's not because of this one group. I mean, it's a large part of it, right? It is. It's a large part of it. Like, I'm not going to say that I can't stand here, hand on my heart, and say that it's not true. I mean, look who's behind the porn industry, OnlyFans, promotion, who's paying these influencers, who's paying rap culture, who's pushing the degeneracy, who's profited from all birth control, who's profited from all angles. But I also can't stand here and say that, women needed free will. Like this idea of women exist and they just exist. I tell them what to do and they suck my cock and make dinner and fuck off. That's unsuitable. Because as soon as you have a daughter, you're like, I don't want her to be treated that way. So none of those ideas, by definition, should have lasted the test of time. Like this idea of everyone should get a chick, even if you treat her like shit. They go back to the caves, and you can do that. But again, understand that if like a lot of those women, if they got a chance, they would leave for the West, like tomorrow. They just can't. Like women would love an element of free will, like, that they essentially can do what it is that they would want. So in this like decentralized kind of sexual economy, you see women as their truest form. Like you do. You don't see women again. Like people think that women are so different if they're in a certain country. They're the same. They just have certain rules and things that they can't be who they are. But in definition, it's more beautiful to be loved in the West than it is to be loved in another country because the love doesn't exist. Like there's too many rules. It's not free will. Like again, it's you're religious, but you have to be this way or you'll be killed. There's no free will. You're with your man and you can't leave him or you'll be killed. There's no free will again. It's a little bit, yeah, there's completely different. By charge, I'm guessing you mean like a spiritual awakening. I've had one, but went back to old bad habits and got out of that charge for the spiritual awakening. Does that change me? Is that change a one-time thing? No, the charge is not really necessarily a one-time thing, but again, it can be a charge or a state that can break down a wall of your ego needs to dissolve, likely. Some of you, again, like you're pushing back into old habits that don't get what it is that you would want. But a lot of the old habits and things are coping mechanisms and things that you can fall into. The world is too hard because of this one group, or this has happened, therefore I should just capitulate. Again, they'll understand like the beauty of the life is that you can live and you can still lose. But that's what makes it special. You take a boxing match and you don't take a staged one, like you can lose. That's what makes it fun. If it was all that you won everything, it wouldn't be very fun. Free will exists, temptation exists. That's why to be on a godly path, it's hard. But that's why it matters. You're right. Escorts are solace, at least until you are financially, emotionally ready to start a family. Going on dates is good remedy for headaches. Yes, it's true. And they are, but also I'm not saying that they're bad people or whatever, things like that. I've known escorts in my life in the past. I used to sell drugs, and some of the girls would sell them to clients. So I would see them. And we would give them like 8 balls and shit that were like half power. So we'd make fuck tons of money. But the girls would be happy because they'd give it to the guys and the guys could still fuck. Because if they have too much coke, like dick doesn't work really well or not nearly as well as it used to, or they can't nut. So the girls would be like, we need, 8 balls or whatever. And we would just make them half power. So we'd make great ROI. And everyone kind of won. I mean, the guy would pay the girl for the gear and he would actually be able to fuck. So it wasn't too harming. But obviously that's in the past. But yeah, I saw behind the valve of all of that stuff, and I don't think that they're bad people. Some of them are in positions that aren't easy to live in. Some girls have to. I'm not saying have to escort, but they're from countries where they don't have a lot of opportunities. They come in from certain countries where they might have a passport that's problematic and they can't travel, and there's not a lot of options for them. So I'm not to say there and say that they're evil or they're this and that and all of these things, because I don't believe that they are. But I wouldn't say that you could really date one, right? And their energy is. I'm not saying that it's bad and that they're bad people, but if a girl bangs people for money and she's around a lot of that, her energy is going to be off. And if you're to spend time in her presence, you'll find that you're a lot unluckier in life, and you'll find yourself in like a state of almost like you have BPD. Am I back? The internet dropped out. But yeah, it should be back now. But yeah, so as I was saying, if you're to be around escorts or girls who bang a lot of dudes, you can't spend a lot of time around them. Certainly can't sleep with them and all of that because their energy rubs off on you. It's true. It's like another thing if you get a girl off Tinder and she's got a bunch of bodies and you sleep next to it, that's really risky for you. Again, women take on an impression of the guys that they're with, specifically if they're fucking. And then if they're to be around you, it can make you very uncertain with who you are. That's what trad guys do get right. If they're with the one chick and they're banging one chick mostly, it brings a level of certainty to who they are. Like it's a self-reinforcing cycle, pushes them through a funnel of individualization. Versus if you're banging a bunch of girls who are also banging a bunch of dudes, it's very messy. Specifically if you're sleeping with them. You know, if they're touching you, like I say often, you have to be very careful of who touches you and their intent behind it. It's true. A lot of that shit is very true. Any more questions? I was just patient and picky, not whoring around, and found a wonderful feminine woman. Yes, there is sometimes friction, but we support each other on a deep level. Well, that's important. You know, support is massive, specifically now. You know, supporting each other. Again, if you're with a chick and she's got, like I said, if she's got a kid and you're with her and you're happy, you don't care. It's not for someone to say that you're bad or you're condemned. As long as you're a good person, you know, that essentially you're not. You understand if you're with a chick and she does have a kid, you can't play as much toxic games because it will rub off on the kid and it's not the kid's fault. Because if you choose to be there, you can't do detrimental things to the kid as well. Because everything that you do to a mother will rub off on her kid. It's true. Like it becomes more selfish if you're with someone who's got a family or chicks or like, you know, she has kids herself and you're to be toxic. It rubs off. You're condemning the next generation. You have to have a level of, you know, compassion, unfortunately. Like everything doesn't exist for you, like it exists in that you can just damage everything if you want. Like you run through a garden, just smash all of the flowers as long as you get to the end and you get what you want. You can't be like that. Like you're out and you don't care if all of you guys, you know, blow out with girls just as long as you get laid. You can't be. You got to be a team player, like in this world. Part of it. Going on dates is good for social skills, which reflect well on business and vice versa. Girls don't need to be taken serious if they do not deserve it. That's a good point. It's a good point. That is true. I don't disagree with that. I think that's true. I'm not planning to have kids as such because the reality we live in. Do we just go for a relationship with them based on chemistry and how we feel with each other and not complicate things? Yes. Most of you, if you're smart, and a lot of you are, you overthink too much. The curse of the intelligent person that is he thinks way too much and in doing so does too little. Like I don't think like this intelligence can be largely a curse. Like this idea of I got 160 IQ and that means that I'll live a good life for some reason. Who the fuck said that? Do you know me chess masters and shit that are very intelligent, but their life is a mess? They're just smart. Like again, smart can be overthinking. I overthink way too much and do too little. Whereas the guy, some guys might be a fucking 90 IQ and he just doesn't think of all the things that can go wrong and he just does it and then he succeeds. But you, 120 or 130 IQ, you thought of every particular thing that could have happened that was wrong, and then you yourself psyched yourself out, or you waited too long. It's like the mousetrap is here and you want the cheese, and you think you got your schematics out and you're writing all of this shit and things that could happen and go wrong, and then some guy just runs and grabs it. And then the mousetrap didn't work, like the jammer didn't go down because there's something wrong with it, and you thought too far ahead, and he didn't, and he got what you wanted. It's like that with women. Do you know how many guys I know that are playing games and bullshit? And I've got a big social circle and I'm trying to make this chick jealous and this one jealous and this one. And they don't get what it is that they want because they're playing too many fucking games versus someone else who just like walks up to a chick and he's like, oh, hey, how are you? Like, I saw you from across the room. I think that you're pretty. Would you, you know, want to get to know me? It's just something even just basic. And then he's surprised the other guy watches and he's like, because the guy just had the will to act. Again, in Batman, where essentially he's to confront Batman as Bruce Wayne and be like, your father died because it was his fault. He didn't have the will to act. It doesn't matter. He has all of this training. Training doesn't matter if you don't implement. Do you know how many guys I know that are kickboxers or fighters, and as soon as someone punches them on the street, they just freak out and freeze? Heaps of them. The will to act is all that matters. Are you actually able to do something? Because again, but it's also not easy. Like a lot of guys, if they're to approach a girl, they overthink it way too much. Like they think of all the things that can go wrong. And if you think of all the things that can go wrong, you are a magnet. Like fear is in itself a magnet. Like you're more likely to get that outcome because you create it. It's true. It's true. I'm only 23 and already noticed that relationships that I don't think too much are going well. Where where those that I think too much, I end things fast with a girl and break up. Yeah, it's true. But again, you got to look in the mirror and at some point probably be like, I'm actually my worst enemy. And that's okay. Like we all can have that at times. But you have to come to terms with why all of that shit is happening. Some people have things where it gets too close and the relationship gets too real and they want to pull away. I only want to be like this close to a chick, and as soon as she starts getting a little bit real or getting to know me just a little bit, like she's seeing the real me, I'm out. Because some people also don't really like themselves, or they don't feel like they're worthy of love. Or as soon as it gets real and they're like, that love starts to come in, or they're like, I'm starting to like this chick, they're like, I'm out. I don't want to get hurt. Because if I'm wearing a mask and the chick's wearing a mask, or we're just, we're bullshitting each other and it's on a very shallow surface level, that's fine. Because if she leaves, I'm like, oh, well, she didn't really know the real me. She didn't reject me. I was wearing this, I had a persona out there. She didn't know who I was. But then when you actually start to get to know each other, and then if she rejects you and that she leaves, which can be for many reasons, it doesn't necessarily mean she doesn't like you. She might have issues going on. She might have something that she's going on with herself. She might have shit happening with her ex. She might have shit happening with her family. She might have many reasons that it's not actually just you. But now it hurts because you look in and you're like, she started to get to know me. I built a connection, and she she rejected me as me. That hurts more. But that's where the development comes from. Like again, you're developing the persona, which is essentially you're developing the individual versus developing the mask. Like most guys, when they're honest about themselves, they long for a connection with a woman. If they're pumping and dumping chicks, they would still rather have like one or two chicks that they see who know them as they are and accept them as they are, versus run around and be like, I'm a persona with chicks, and then as soon as that persona falls over, I have to find a new one. That's a waste of time. Like it really is, because you're not developing yourself either. You're developing the mask. That's why PUA shit is all done. Like all that shit is stupid. I'm using strategies and tactics and a bunch of bullshit. And again, you're not developing who you are. Yeah, well, trust is an issue then, right? Trust problems. Trust is a thing that can happen with a lot of it, specifically if something happened or you're in an environment that wasn't safe or someone betrayed you, but at some point you need to learn to trust again. And I'm not saying that it's easy. I'm not saying that it's fair, but trust is done 1 millimeter at a time. Some of you can't open up to people because you think that if you're to open up to them, they're going to exploit you. And it's not necessarily the case, again. But if something's happened from the past, being able to open up again, and trust is, again, there's no love without trust. Like they exist together. It has to become safe first, and then you start to open up, specifically if you're closed off. You can love, but again, like love exists in multiple forms. Love exists for many in that they're needy. I love someone, but I'm actually needy of them. I love that I'm bored if I don't see them. I need them around because I need them. I'm needy. I love that if I'm not just sitting home like without them, I don't have anything to do. So now I need to bring a person in to entertain me. That's not love. It's not going to work. Such an idea. So again, but love exists. Loving from abundance is different. Do I think a world is a test for our souls to get to heaven? It's very likely that life itself is, in my view, it's a congruency funnel. You're tested and essentially weighed and measured, and yeah, we'll see how it works. Do I think the middle class is being wiped out on purpose? Yes. The middle class has to be wiped out because essentially they were the ones that could have become the higher class. They have all of the stuff. So again, if you can shake down the middle class, then all assets and things go up, and the division gets wider. So I've climbed the ladder, and the middle class was still climbing, and maybe they were in the center of the ladder. I'm at the top, and then it's advantageous for me to break the ladder so that you can't make it up to where I am. So if I'm a billionaire, my billions are theoretically worth more. My power is worth more because you can't cross that bridge. Like you can't get to where I am. So now I can run you. Versus before, there's a chance that some of them would have been able to cross that threshold and be self-sovereign and things like that. Now I've created a theoretical slave class under me, and that's the truth. Do you have any date ideas who someone who doesn't have a reliable social circle of friends stays home rather than go out? Well, again, it depends what it is. If you have a life that a girl would want to enter, Like, have you thought about it? Like, what's really in it for the chick? Not only that, but what's your edge? Like, what? Why would a girl come and date you just because you say that you're funny or something? Like, you can't. Most girls won't just meet at your house. You could be the Unabomber. They don't know you. Like, again, this idea of unless you have a social media that's very visible and you talk online and things like that. Like, that's if I do and I ask a girl to come and see me, but I'm visible online and she kind of has a pretty decent idea of who I am before we meet. It's more likely that she would come and meet me because she'd probably be like, oh, I can see him talk online. He at least exists. I know that if something happens to me, I might be, they find me somewhere. Whereas if they're to meet you and you have a bunch of like your dark online or something, it's too risky for them to come and see you at your house. But it's always a good filter that you talk to a chick online and you say, oh, maybe we'll meet for a coffee. We can meet at the park. We can meet here. Because again, if you don't have the means to take a chick to a restaurant or you don't want to, then you have to condition her to come into be expected to come into a life that is what you have. Like if you're not someone that wants to go out a lot, being like, let's meet at the club and all of this, like what's the point? You're going to meet a chick who wants to go to the club, and then eventually you're going to pull back and be like, I don't want to do this all the time. And she's going to be like, you're not what I wanted. And that's fine. If you're to meet, you want to do all of that stuff, you need to shop like what bait do you throw out? Do you throw a bait out essentially of who you are? Most of you online don't realize your social media is in fact your bait. I'm using this bait to see what it is that I would want. My images online are pushing out an image that essentially for the girl that I would actually want. Am I pushing to be seen as like an ATM? Am I pushing a bunch of luxury items out there? Am I pushing that I'm an exciting party guy, but deep down I'm not? I'm just a chill guy who wants to sit at home. Okay, well, if you're a gamer, I mean, then you would need to meet predominantly a market that's what you are. I mean, there's a lot of women that like to play games and shit like that. I've known many of them, specifically if they're younger. But also, you can't be like you have to put it all together into one persona or one image of who you are, or certainly an image that you want to push out to the world. That's still something that she herself would want to join. Like women, it's a team. Like this idea of women want to join a team, like you're a team, not we're competing with each other, or essentially there's nothing to join into. Yeah, I mean, but also I guess it depends. Like if you're a gamer and you're playing games and you live with your mum or something, it's going to be much harder to bring women in. But these ideas and things, but there's again, like there's a top for every pot, as it were. Like there really is. But again, you got to market or push out what it is that you are, because otherwise it's not going to work. Like you're not going to work if you're pushing out and you're pushing out a life that you don't live, because you're going to have to be every time you meet this chick, you're going to have to be someone that you aren't, and it's going to fall over again and again and again. I know a lot of guys that they're not rich and they run around and post online how much money they have and bullshit, and then they get chicks who essentially want to be flown around in a bunch of shit, and then they're like, that's dumb, like that's stupid. The best women are ones who, and I know women get upset when I say this, but don't require a lot of money. It doesn't matter if you're a millionaire. Like this idea of I'm buying her this and I'm buying her that. Like buying is again, you're buying. The more things you buy for a woman, the drier they get, because you condition themselves that Pavlov's dog. That essentially that's there'll be a reward is that you spend money on, and then it doesn't matter how cool you are, you become a sim. I would know because I've had girls, even if they're good girls, and I've rewarded them with stuff. I've realized that it's fucked them up. Money breaks women because most of them, and I'm not saying all of them are bad, but they don't know what it takes to make money. Most of them. So again, this idea of I just bought a chick, even $1,000 or $5,000 thing. If it's your actual girl, even if you've been together for like a year or two, it breaks them. It turns them off. Like finances do turn them off. It's a part of it. Even if you have staff and you start buying them shit, that's problematic. They don't understand. Like women don't really get it. And money, yeah, it does destroy them. Kind of like destroys kids too. It's the same concept. Money destroys children. If you have a kid and you start buying a crap that's more and more and more, that's problematic. It's part of a congruency test. If I'm ignoring girls who want me because I know I'm meant for deepest connection, but at the same time missing intimacy, should I try them anyway and see? I mean, if you're missing intimacy and things like that, then you're missing a depth of connection. Most of you are missing intimacy though, because you're not have the intimacy connection within yourself either. Like most of you miss intimacy because you want to be loved, because you also don't love yourselves. Like, let's be frank. Not the bravado, not the guy in the gym, not the guy who's doing this, because a lot of the stuff that you're doing is to prove to others that you're not shit. Who are you when you go home? I don't care who you are in the gym. I don't care who you are in the boxing gym. I don't care who you are, all of this shit. But this, like, I need intimacy and I need a connection and things. It's also often because you don't love yourself. I need to be loved because I don't love myself. I'm not enough. And then it projects out to the women that are around. And you actually don't get what it is that you would want. And then often you can try to get intimacy from hoes. I'm not saying that I haven't done that in the past myself, because I have. I've had things where I'm sitting there trying to have a deep connection with a chick who's just brain dead. And I'm talking to her and I'm like, then I look back and I'm like, how did I not know? But we don't know. Like, all of that stuff is things that you're chasing a deep connection with shallow people, and that can be hard on you. I enjoy nature, fitness, food, and history, but I wouldn't mind a restaurant date. But I think I might not be not fun. That's okay. And man, it depends how old you are, and it depends what it is that you would want. But it sounds like, again, like you're intelligent, logical, and all of these things, which is fine. But you need to become everything. Like, it's okay to get the stick out of your ass at times. Not all the time, but some of the time. It's okay because, again, off the back of that, a lot of that stuff is vulnerability. I'm vulnerable because people are seeing me as I am. I can make jokes at times and things, and maybe they don't like them, but I am who I am. But also, like, if you're serious and things, it's okay to be serious, but you still have to be serious but non-judgmental. Like, if you're looking for your exact copy of you, and you're like a logical dude who's a deep thinker and all of these things, you're probably not going to find it, because women aren't like that. She's just going to mirror you, but it's not going to be something that sticks together. Yeah, main issue is social media resulting in sexual inflation. That's very true. Like, that's very true. Sexual inflation is massive, specifically online. It's the truth of it. It's a big part of it. And it's not something that's really going to go away with time. But again, though, it's not been easier for a guy who's a deep, like, who actually is chasing a connection. I mean, it probably easier when women were kind of stuck with a guy, and that was that. But it's not been easier if you're actually, like, you want a deep connection, but you know what it is that you want. It's not been easier to get sex than it is now. It's easy to get laid. Like, I mean, it's super easy. It's unlimited, but it's harder to get a depth of connection if you're trying to get laid a lot. But it's easy also when you talk to women, and if you can actually get rid of the first guard, you realize that a lot of them chase a deep depth of connection as well. Specifically, the hotter they are, girls who are sevens and eights miss a depth of connection, and the girls who are like sixes and fives, they're mostly the hoes. Like, most of the girls who are hot aren't actually the hoes. The hoes are the ones who don't know that they're hot, or they weren't in the past, and now they're trying to make up for it. Like, the guys is similar. Like, if you're a Chad or you're a good looking dude and you've always had pussy, you're more likely to be traditional and be like, I've had that and I don't care. But if you never got laid in the past and then you did all of this self development, now you can, you're more likely to be the opposite. Because I'm the same. I was a loser in school, and then I overcompensated to the other side. Whereas if I was to have already had all of that, I would have got it out of the way. It's the same thing with a guy who's had luxury items all of his life, or an elite. They often don't care about that because they've always had it, versus the opposite. Why do some Aussies never return to their hometown? I don't know. I think that past is best left in the past. I'm currently at a loss of 15K from crypto. How do you personally balance the FOMO of pumping, blah, blah, blah? Pumping crypto with discipline over your investment thesis. Do you switch off for regard? Yes, I switch off for reading the charts. I have a long-term thesis on crypto, and I just stick to it, as SRB crypto guys do. That's it. We had a good call with AIA. I made like 300 grand last week. We got like 20x, I think it went. But I sold most of mine at like 10 to 12. But I rebought lower, so which is nice. But yeah, it was a good call. We've had a few ones, but still the market is still trash. But eventually it'll be good. Yeah, of course. Anything in nature is a good going to be a good connection. It signals more like if you meet a chick in the club, you meet a chick out, you meet a chick with friends, and all of these things. It's not going to be the same. Like, a lot of guys, again, you want to meet chicks with your friends and things because they're carrying the conversation. If you're to be alone with the girl, now how is it? That's what matters. That's what's actually going to last. But yeah, so I'm going to do an AMA now for the guys in Breaking Free. Some of you guys are in there, but not everyone is. And I think that's wrapped up for me. I have to do a bunch of shit now. Catch up with everything. But yeah, that's pretty much it, lads. So yeah, keep in touch, and I'll see you guys in essentially the group. And others, thanks for the questions. And as always, keep your head up and essentially do the development at work though. Do the shit like do the work at night. That's the shit that matters the most. Yeah, that's the shit that essentially matters the most. The self development stuff. And again, don't let the bastards get you down. And yeah, stay in crypto. Don't be afraid. Stay in the tech sector. Keep building. Keep thriving. Until next time, lads.